We are the Last Stop CD shop in Marshall, Minnesota. We've been in business now since 1992. We carry a selection of movies, games, and music. We pretty much not only carry the new stuff that's out now, we carry a large selection of the classics and the oldie stuff that what a lot of people like to call retro. Brian Deitz, who owns Last Stop CD shop in Sioux Falls, originally started this in '92, I believe it was. And I always told him that if he ever wanted to sell the store, let me know. Well, when he opened the Sioux Falls location, he tried to do both, but he realized it was too much work. So he gave me a call. He said, "When do you want to buy the store?" And I said, "When do you want me to take over?" He said, "Immediately." So basically from that point on, I've been in this business. The only thing I brought into it was about 5,000 albums because I collected vinyl. I mean, it's always been my passion is vinyl. I mean, I've went through a lot of the different formats, and I mean, I've been through the reel-to-reel tapes, I've been through the cassettes, I've been through 8 tracks. Then when CDs came out, I remember it was in '82, my brother-in-law up in the cities, he was like, "Yeah, Ray, you got all these albums, they're gonna be extinct, they're dinosaurs, they're coming out with a thing called the CD, and it's gonna make vinyl extinct." I'm like, "It'll never make vinyl extinct." Well, he was close to being right.
Compact disc, another sensation from Philips.
Technological breakthrough in audio reproduction. Laser and disc come together for one of the purest sounds ever.
The portable compact disc player. For innovations in music, do what the competition does. Follow the leader.
By 1989, CDs had already overtaken vinyl as far as sales goes. And from that point on, vinyl just kept going down and down and down. We'd have it out, people would look at it and it'd be like, "Oh, that's cool, vinyl. You can't find a record player anymore." So they'd be like, it's not really what good is vinyl if you can't play it. And then in 2007, they came up with the idea of Record Store Day. And it's the 3rd Saturday in April every year. And what they did is they were trying to help out the independents like us, the little mom and pop stores, stay in existence. They got together with a lot of the artists in the record labels, knowing that if we don't do something, there's not going to be a record store left in the country. And basically what they do is they come up with a real limited package, real collectible. So, and most of these records are in very limited quantities. You're talking as low as 100 worldwide. That's all that'll ever be made of that. And that's a real low number, but most of them are 500 to 1,000. I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit about collecting. A record like this is maybe a $10 record. And if you open it up, inside, you've got a black record. It's just your standard everyday album. Well, then what collectors will look for is they'll go out there and they'll find it looks the same, but it's got a different catalog number. And then you pull it out and it's got blue vinyl. And the name of the album was Out of the Blue. And very few were made with blue vinyl. So this is about a $60 record. So by all appearance, they look the same. These are some of the things that are coming out Record Store Day, kind of what people are looking for. This is Justin Bieber, and this is a record store release. And this is the picture of the cover. Instead of being on cardboard, it's actually embedded into the vinyl. They just call that a picture disc, and then on the back it's got a picture of him. The Sex Pistols, one of their famous albums. And on the back it looks the same as the old one did, but when you flip it around it's a pictured, colored That's what the album cover actually would have looked like in cardboard, but it's just printed into the vinyl. This is my last example. This is just a very rare record that I wanted to show. It's the Beatles and Frank Infield, and it's not in perfect shape, but it's still about a $1,500 record. And the reason for it is you've probably never seen it, and the Beatles are probably the most collectible, or they are the most collectible band there is. The only way you could ever get this particular album is when it came out back in the early 60s. So very rare in a mint copy. If you had a really nice shape, it's probably a $10,000 album. Records as a whole, there's always been a collectible market. You know, it's nothing new that's just come today, but it's just become tenfold what it was. I think what's really gotten the young generation really excited about vinyl, I mean, they looked at it as something they could own that not many people would own, because anybody can go on Pandora and listen to a song, or anybody can buy a CD and they make 100,000 copies of it, or if it's a big seller, it could be 1 million copies. But a vinyl, you know, they're talking 100 copies, 500 copies, 1,000 copies. It's just got a lot of potential for collectability. The kids also, talking to their parents, said, hey, have you ever listened to a record? And it's like my kids. I mean, I showed them what a record sounded like back in the day, and my son got into collecting vinyl. Originally, I saw the headlines, vinyl saves mom and pop stores. I don't know if it's going to save mom and pop stores, but it's certainly helping. People are starting to recognize that it was important maybe to their parents. It was something that they enjoyed themselves. They realize that record stores are something that are dying out because they're going by the wayside every year. So I think what makes a place like this survive is that there's a lot of people that still want physical media, and plus there's all kinds of different things that you can only find in a store like this. You know, there's so many out-of-print things in here that it was made 5 years ago, it's not made anymore. And so if you want it, the only place you can find it is in the used store. You know, as far as a culture, I think younger kids even coming up today that never got to experience the excitement or the fun of going and rummaging around in a record store really missed out on something. Because I look back at my life and some of my fondest memories were roaming around a store digging through crates of records.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. This program on Pioneer Public Television is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Additional support provided by Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien in honor of Shalom Hill Farm, a nonprofit rural education retreat center in a beautiful prairie setting near Windham in southwestern Minnesota. ShalomHillFarm.org. The Arrowwood Resort and Conference Center, your ideal choice for Minnesota resorts, offering luxury townhomes, 18 holes of golf, Darling Reflections Spa, Big Splash Water Park, and much more. Alexandria, Minnesota. Explore hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for a great vacation or a place to hold an event. ExploreAlex.com. Tri-State Brain and Spine Institute, with locations in Alexandria, Edina, Crookston, and Maple Grove. Doctors dedicated to evaluating and treating all types of brain and spine problems, no matter how complex.